knowing my fellow zombies who are sleep deprived and emotionally screwed up. Because I definitely joined you on that description yesterday. A zombie Weaver John C. of Roseman, California, is here. It's October 19th, 2023. The time and day, I can't even see where shit right now. It's 1:31 in the morning. No, I didn't get blitz-free and drunk or anything else like that. Without my glasses on, I don't see it very well. But yesterday, I was keeping my head pinned, apparently, to social media because a friend of mine suffered a heart attack this past couple of days. Ended up in a hospital. Well, out of reach. For current transit out here anyway. So, couldn't do a damn thing. Except pray and hope that she was going to be making it. All day I was wondering and worrying about her. While dealing with an anniversary that was tearing me apart left and right. You see, guys, when you lose family members that you're close to, and I've come across this a lot in social media postings regarding the grieving process. So I might as well call this one the Diary of the Griever named John Weaver, which is me. Yeah, enough of that one there. It hurt. I mean, dealing with anniversaries, yeah, it sucks. Each year it gets harder and harder for me to deal with. Each year I get older and older, and it still gets harder and harder to deal with. Maybe I'm getting that much closer to it. I don't like dealing with death. I gotta deal with it anyway. And dealing with it all my life, or already misspent life anyway. But a friend of mine, who I cared about for a while now, a long while. It's like a big sister to me. She helped my brother out with his recovery. We both knew each other before we moved out here to the Antelope Valley. Got reacquainted with her. There are certain people that just got a certain relationship, a certain connection to each other. They found a big sister of sorts. Sage, tough advice. And it helped a great deal. I don't think Ma ever met her in life. In death, yeah, probably. But in life, no. No, Ma hasn't met her. At least I don't remember and think. But yeah, I did remember seeing this lady named DJ, or Deej as we called her. She's one of those kind of sponsors that you would have a newcomer stick around for a while to learn the ropes because she's been in it. She's also got into a lot of scrapes, but who doesn't? I mean, just because you get into a 12-step program doesn't mean you don't deal with life on life's terms. You deal with life on life's terms. I mean, there's an emphasis on it. You deal with the reality, you deal with the choices that you got, and then you deal with it. And sometimes the choices are hard, and sometimes the choices are not so easy either. She's had hard road, hard knocks, but she's got experience in them. So in the 12 steps, we share experience, strength, and hope with each other. Hopefully that we can stay sober for one more day. Keep our clean status. And we don't fall back on old patterns that'll destroy us one way or another. And the hardest damn thing is hold on to the concept that we've learned in there, that there is a power greater than ourselves that can restore us level of sanity, but also helps us out along the way if we actually listen to the thing in the first place. It is a spiritual thing. It's not a reaction or anything. It's just a way of connecting with something of an energy source or an energy being or something like that. That's whatever we call it, and hopefully it helps us out along our in our way of life until the point of passing, and then after that, who knows? For some, discover Jesus or God and Jesus, or somebody else for that matter. Atheists have a problem with him because they don't know how to acknowledge it, and neither does the agnostics. That there is something out there, maybe a group of people that can help. That we would call a power greater than ourselves. Or we do with a spiritual natural thing. Sometimes someone would consider the doorknob a power greater than themselves. I've heard stories about that one. Just hadn't seen it before in action. And while we're charging the path of recovery here, we have to keep leaning on each other for support. But I can tell you that sometimes there's not that many people out there that allow me to do that or even get in contact with them or anything else for that matter. The principles I have to keep laying down. I have to keep leaning on it. Just to keep me not sane, but just sober. Yesterday I was going to break it. Damn near did. If the decision was carried out, I wouldn't be sober. I'd be plastered, or I'd be dead. I was hitting myself in that kind of a low point. The 10th anniversary of my mother's death. I'm only 57 years old. If this was hitting me when I was a lot younger, it'd be a lot worse. No, I'll take that back. It's hitting me a lot worse because I know I'm getting closer to the damn thing. It scares the living crap out of me. I may be seeing my family eventually, but I'm that much more closer to it because of my aging. A long time ago, yeah, it probably would have killed me if I actually saw Ma die and David. When I was a 20 or 30 something man, barely getting through life. I'd have to find people to walk me through things that normally I wouldn't. And what would be the next step? Well, seeing my friend going through her journey, it just, I didn't know her then. I didn't know DJ back then. Dave did. He saw her in meetings. She was tough. She is a tough woman, even back then. She was still trying to get the ropes. She was still trying to get a handle on her life as well. But there have been other people I've met in the program that still wanted to help out, but I didn't see them coming to the house all the time. I mean, between 80, when my brother was getting clean and sober from 1985 through the time we moved out here to Antelope Valley, I hardly ever saw or remembered seeing anybody coming coming in that wasn't from the program. And D's family is one thing. We had Ma's clients, flaky as they were, but they were still clients. And some of them actually did turn out to be good friends and family members of sorts. But no, I did not see or remember it except when David was trying to tell me of a story that I didn't even remember about it. I wasn't paying attention to it as much. My brother had some special friends who were, let's just say that, uh, were in the program. One of them you may know of the name, but just never bothered to understand what the name was. When you're crossing on the 5 freeway, actually when you're on the 14 freeway heading south and crossing into the 5, just to head into Los Angeles or closer to that, San Fernando Valley, you would see the name of the interchange. And this in itself would tell you what kind of a special guy this was. But he played a dual role at the time. Yes, he did his job to protect the city and people and to serve. But he also was trying to save himself by going to meetings to save himself from King Alcohol. That's why some of those people out there have a deeper connection with that name. So you might want to Google it on that one. He had a partner who also knew, but he wasn't programmed because he wasn't in that situation. Guy's long since retired, moved away. But that guy, the partner, I call him, you might have seen him in television shows or movies, acting his own occupation as well. My brother had a sponsor that watched over his ass more than one way. I don't know who the hell to trust back then. Still didn't. I was seeing my brother getting sober, and he was trying to get back to where he thought it should be. Back to his old ways of being a smart ass instead of a dumb ass, or actually an asshole, so to speak. And I was turning out to be an asshole. If I had if I had been sober during those days, if I had decided to go the route he did, but it wasn't my time. I wasn't ready for it. Sobriety of the body is one thing, but sobriety of the mind and soul is a different thing than the body, and that definitely needs to be worked on a great deal. At times, I wish I had what my brother had. I really wasn't ready for that stuff. We get out here to Antelope Valley. It's where I guess I get the purification. I guess clarification, actually. It's one thing going into the meeting halls and trying to get support. It's another thing for the support try to follow you home and make you still feel part of the program. Uh, Sometimes you have to go and call people up on the phone just to let them know what's going on because they got their own lives. They don't bother going to other sponsors or sponsees to get involved unless they have to. Everyone else has got their own individual lives, but you go to a meeting hall, that's where you see the people trying to reconnect. And to be honest, I hadn't been to a meeting of any sort since David died. passed away, I made announcements. A couple of meetings, but that was about it. I despaired and nobody kept track of me. Nobody, maybe one or two people. Everybody else is like, okay, fine, he's gone. There goes his annoying brother. Let's get back with our own soap opera and our own lives. Still had a lot of anger issues towards a few people in the program itself. Well, the program itself is in a book. So whether or not we apply the principles to our lives, that matters the most. And one of them is being honest with yourself. And be honest with yourself. You have to learn that the hard way, the long way. There's no shortcuts in that one. And you also have to rely on something greater than yourselves because human beings are fallible as hell. So the concept of following a power greater than yourself, you can understand that. It's hard as hell for some people to understand it because they're afraid of it. And I admit I was still leery. But as long as I try to keep a connection with this one, that maybe, just maybe, if there's a way of dealing with things, and I don't have to be afraid of having my ass torn apart. At least I'll be able to draw some kind of spiritual energy to keep going. And yesterday I was definitely needing that. Ma's anniversary, her passing over 10 years. And I'll tell you something. It gets harder and harder for me because sometimes I keep forgetting. It gets harder and harder for me to remember what the hell happened between now and the time she died. I can remember what was going on when she died. But between then and now, it's getting harder and harder to remember. I could try remembering back then, way back before, of how things were. And those memories I can deal with. I mean, certain pivotal points or certain memories I can remember with no issue. But what I'm having problems with is what happened after Mama died because everything else changed. The landscape changed. Everything else changed. That I'm still locking down on what the hell happened. Everything else became a blur. I had to depend upon memories and notes to get myself refreshed and revised. I know that Dave and I are having eviction issues with the apartment complex we lived in when Ma was. And we got the paperwork and the notification. Ma wasn't even aware what the hell was going on. Dave and I had to take care of the same damn shit. I know that during those days, I had been injured on the job, and I didn't realize how much of an injury it was going to last. Nobody did. They kept telling me I was going to get better, and I didn't. Well, if you work hard, then you get better. My back wasn't, neither was my brain, and everything else hit me. So it's like, fuck it. And during those days, we were getting evicted out of an apartment complex because of some whatever corporate reason was going through their head. Ma dies. It was hard as hell to deal with that. Dave was working his ass off, trying to get the paperwork together for Ma's life insurance to be collected in order to get her turned into ashes. Couldn't bury her. Ma had this thing that Dave and I, well, we tried to commit to, but we didn't have it done. Where she would have her ashes scattered in the hills of Hiawatha, Utah. Surrounding town or in town, somewhere in that area. That would be her wish because she loved that town so much. Not the fact, and not even discussed, was could we have found a place where Grandma and Ma, actually Aunt May was buried at or entombed so we could put her ashes with the family. She wanted them scattered. So Ma's ashes is still in the cabinet. That journey hasn't begun yet or even started yet. I'm not quite sure how to do it. There was a family friend, but unfortunately I lost contact with him over the years. So I don't know if he's alive or dead. And if he's alive, I don't know if he's going to be able to take care of the thing or not, or help me take care of it. If not, then I guess that's it. I'm stuck with another alternative, and maybe Mar, maybe like it or not, I don't know. Dave wanted his ashes scattered in the sea, but also in Texas. He liked being a frog man. But he was a Texan through and through. Not the current politics or viewpoints, but to him, his own version of what Texas was, because when he grew up, that was what his Texas was. And I lost contact with a family over there in Texas. I haven't spoken to him since David died. I don't know if they're still there alive or anything else. And they haven't even contacted me about it either. So that's the problem. I can travel to Texas. I can dump his ashes. Dumping his ashes in the water is a different thing altogether. Texas is pretty damn big. And I got no contacts in Texas. So that's another strike against me. Not having the resources, not acting fast enough, and, you know, not doing the things I should have been doing. So that's screwed up right there. So his ashes are up there. When his anniversary came up, yeah, school day on that one, I still had to fight my way through it just to deal. It was never easy dealing with the anniversaries while I was going to college. Yeah, some days I'm actually able to get through it or not. Yesterday was a day I wasn't supposed to be in class because it was Thursday. No. Yeah, I was. Today's Friday. Yesterday was Thursday. So no class on the Thursday for this semester anyway. It still made it hard as hell for me to deal with. Because yesterday I woke up, I didn't even realize it was Ma's anniversary. Or maybe I just wasn't paying attention until I saw the alarm on the damn thing. I'm like, oh, great. It is Ma's anniversary. Get triggered, and then the process goes. And it went, and it went, and it ongoing. Just I used different metaphors in the stages of grief that I was going through. Either it was a landmine, it was a shocker, and you're getting yourself one way, getting blown to hell. Your senses gone, your ability to mask the pain ripped away. So yeah, and then it was the tsunami effect, I called it. Tsunami effect, where it was a constant basis on this, real constant. It's ongoing. It wasn't ending. It was just ongoing constantly on this. So I had a problem with it. I really had a problem with it because it would hit me and then continue and then roll out to sea wherever it went, leaving me totally uh, wasted emotionally, emotionally and spiritually drained. That I went through a tumultuous time with this tsunami effect. So that was like after the shock and awe. Now you get the tsunami of the natural concussive forces of emotions hitting you when whenever you get triggered, and then it's. I mean, I looked at it as a tsunami because I saw the emotional buildup happening, Everything was building up to a crescendo, and then boom. I should have called it maybe a concert series. Call it that way, so it probably would make sense to me. So it was hard dealing with that. It was hard. Now I call it a roller coaster because it just doesn't seem to end. Once I get the ticket guy on there who sold me the ticket for the emotional trauma and the ride of my life, yeah, just one complete nightmare over another. The feelings just kept going and going and wasting me on twists and turns and crying sessions here and crying sessions here and there. And when I'm off the ride, I want to go to the nearby wastebasket and do something. If I was at an amusement park on that kind of a rough ride, I think that's what my body would want. Me using that. And trust me, I don't like using it. I never been. I had been to roller coasters when I was a lot younger and been able to deal with it. You get older, you don't get to deal with it as much. At least not for me anyway. My endurance is not all that great these days. Emotionally, physically, and spiritually, apparently. I would hear my brother on some occasions offering advice in certain aspects. Where is your faith in God? Sometimes I had to look at my brother when he was telling me that when he was alive. I'd had to look him hard on that one, like, very hard, just saying, "What the hell are you trying to tell me, you asshole?" And sometimes I had to ask myself, where was my faith? Where was my trust? In question, I'd probably say no in Cleveland. I just took the last train to Clarksville. I'm still having a problem at the station. Sometimes he would joke about that one, or he would laugh about that, my big brother. But in reality sense, maybe it was a way of asking myself and waking myself up to the question of, this is the 12-step principles that we have, and we have a power greater than yourself, so how come you're not relying on them? I kept thinking to myself, physically I could probably tear his ass apart on this one, my big brother. Or can I say to myself, look, I don't know what the hell is going on. I don't know why things are happening the way they are. And I absolutely got no control over some of this shit over here, so what the hell are you trying to drive me crazy for? It was driving me crazy to remind myself certain things, certain aspects happen that changes a person's opinions and actions and stuff. My perception of the reality is a lot different than what the physical reality is. What I was doing just now was readjusting some bananas. Not they're not attached to each other. They're individuals. And yet, through my own diminished viewpoint, I saw different perspective than what the reality was or is. Are one of the bananas trying to squish each other, leaving an indentation in one of the bananas? I mean, they are individual. They're almost the same damn size, same weight, same material. Except given enough gravity, enough time, they could make an indentation on each other if they were laying on them long enough, so that when you open up the shell, it'll be squish. It'll be a squishy point, a real soft point. But in reality, it hasn't happened. I'll have an example in it. Yesterday, I was afraid my afraid DJ was going to die. I still am. God may have a time for her, but yesterday I was so damn distraught. I couldn't deal with it. I could not take it. I was coming to the point where I just couldn't take anything else anymore. And I almost started to. It was to the point I was making deals with God on this one. I didn't want my friend to take me instead, not her. God knows I'm afraid of death. I still am. Been there, done that, and I'm not quite convinced it was the right decision or anything else like that. Maybe God saw through that one, at least I hope he did. Better looking at things than I am. Better perspective than I have. Even with that said and done, the decision could have been made to still take her. Am I ready to deal with that? With more people that I know and love being taken away? Maybe God wanted them more for whatever reason. Maybe they were ready, maybe it was time, I don't know. All I can tell you is today, I'm still waking up to that fact. It still hurts, but not as grave as it was yesterday because I was still going through an anniversary of my mama's passing 10 years ago. But here's the thing, she passed in February. What anniversary am I talking about? The day that she was mortally born. She would have been 85. I would have been celebrating a birthday with her if she was still alive. If David was still alive, I'd celebrated a birthday with him too a long time ago. It wasn't easy dealing with his death either. It really wasn't. At this point, my friend's still in the hospital waiting for a surgeon to come. They got her stabilized enough. Transportation was stabilized enough for me to get down there, to get my ass down there. But we'll see what happens. I can't take off any more time from school. And I'm going to regret it. And my friend will probably tell me, you go to school. My brother will probably tell me the same damn way. I keep trying to convince myself. No, because I wanted to go over there and see how she was doing. Show her support. But I'm torn on that decision. I could try getting down there on Monday and see how she's doing. And if it is the worst day of my life, what the hell could happen? If I lose class and I can't go back to school until next term, and then all hell breaks loose. That's a lot of stuff to put onto me, but I gotta live with it, deal with it. But I'm a selfish, self-conscious, self-righteous, egotistical megalomania. What the fuck was I gonna do? I was going to complete what the hell I was going to complete. I had a lot of things happening to me this semester that stalled me out and was trying to curtail, and I was just trying to be a very disturbing pain in the ass to continuing this. I wanted this damn thing badly. I'm still questioning it now. I don't know. Keep turning it over to my higher power. Let him decide. I was going to get this done. I was going to get this done. I still got things I got to take care of this weekend. Yesterday was not a good day. It really wasn't. And Ma visited me, I think, somewhere in there. But we didn't talk. She pops in and out of my memories and my dreams. So does Dave. But I still have to deal with it. I still have to wake up and they're still not here. Yesterday was yesterday. Today I got to deal with. I can't step back and I can't. There's no way to do that. I have to deal with now as it is. And now I got to be more determined to get my stuff done instead of anything else. And right now, since it's way too damn early for me to be up, I still got to crawl back in and take care of things. My life and everything else. It's going to kill me for not seeing her until, or even hear from her voice. If I had my own transportation, I'd get up there to see her. But I'm dependent upon local transportation out here. It sucks. How am I doing right now? Well, I've already been well triggered right now for emotional stuff, and depression's ready to be kicking in and kicking my ass hard. It's about what happens every time. I still feel bad that Ma died, and it still kicks my ass that I still miss my brother. It'd be even worse is when I lose her, my best friend right now. My big sis, I call her. I just hope that she realizes how special she is in my life right now as it is. If God decides, I'm not arguing. I could try. I could make a case and plead. Again, the voice would be coming back and saying, where's my trust in God? Being tested again as usual. Being tested again. So, that's how it's going right now.